What's up, y'all? Carl Shepard here, working on episode 15, taking some notes in a effort to just continue trying new things. I've been writing some stuff down here to help keep me on track. Got a lot of moving parts right now, a lot of stuff going on. Oh man, so I officially sent my registration in for the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Competitive Circuit, or whatever you want to call it. It requires a certain high level of instructor to sign off on you, and I will be getting that shortly, so I'll be in, and my first competition is going to be November 3rd in Kansas City, so that's cool. And next year I'm gonna go gangbusters on it, as many as I can get to without putting stress on the family. That's gonna be the number I go to. Let's see here. So I've been doing some research on podcast names. I had mentioned in a previous video off the top of my head, I really liked the name of Off Script with Carl Shepard. That would be a really good name. However, there are quite a few off scripts already, and I mean, sure, there's probably a podcast with every name, so whatever I go with might end up already having some kind of footprint that I'll get to compete with. But just looking through all of them, I mean, there's a bunch. Off script is just, there's a lot of them. So, that's just not, now that I know that, it's not original enough. I've looked up, I had some, I've got some other ideas, and I looked those up, and I'm still just gonna kind of beat it around a little bit before I make a decision. Obviously, I've got until early November, so just a couple more weeks. The only thing that I really need the name to kind of express is this idea of kind of the interest to kind of unpack or dive into topics that are normally considered either taboo or not PC, or that maybe trigger people. I mean, really, anything that's just triggering, anything that people, are really set in their ways about, or honestly, I think the really best way to say it would be topics that cause people to immediately consider those who have a differing opinion than theirs their enemy. Yeah. I just want to make a list of those and find people who are extremely close to those topics, people out in the community, and just bring them on and pick their brain. Or, whatever, bring it up with people whose opinions I really, there's a list of people whose opinions I really find fascinating or I highly respect, and I actually already have my first guest picked out. I've contacted him, and he has agreed. It's somebody from my military past, probably my favorite leader, my favorite officer that led me. And, well, it's hard to say. No, yeah, he's my favorite, but I just hate to, make that list because I've had so many great officers. He was very close to me as far as being the directly officer, my lieutenant right above me, and we've just pretty much stayed connected. I mean, we don't hang out all the time. That's not really what my personality type does, but he stays real busy, I stay real busy, and we see each other no less than once a year, sometimes more. So that's just going to be a really good conversation. It's a perfect first guest for me. Here we go. So yeah, I also have some new tech coming. That's really exciting. There's not really much to talk about on that one. So I have a lot of ideas. I want to kind of put my ideas out there, not only so that I have this record to go back to, but also so that people can, anyone that does end up seeing these videos can kind of help me, decide which, woo, man, I should probably edit that out. but I'm not going to deal with it. Sorry. Yeah, future episodes. Cooking, cooking and meal prep, gardening, harvesting from the garden, stuff like that I do anyway. I don't know why I shouldn't just get all that stuff on video content, create content out of it. Why not? It's not that much more to be doing that and then just videotape it anyway and at some point edit it together and put it online. Like, I've kind of been sleeping on that stuff anyway. So I'm gonna do that. I have an ongoing struggle with the VA system. Basically, I got out in 2009, but I was officially all the way out in 2012 because there's this thing called IRR, inactive ready reserve, where you still are in, but you just don't do anything. I don't even know. But I did like 2 things over those years, and it was just like show up and say hi, and fill out some paperwork, and that was it. But in 2012, I was completely out, civilian all the way, back under the Constitution instead of the UCMJ, and since then, well, for the first 5 years from 2000, well, from like 2012, I could have started this stuff in 2009, but the entire time I lived in Mexico, Missouri, and up until like 2016, sometime in 2016, I didn't touch the VA system. I didn't have any health care. I didn't have any whatever. I was just living on my own. I was doing my entrepreneurial thing, and it was important for me to not, I don't know, I had to support myself. I had to do it on my own. And I can talk about that, in depth maybe sometime, but I was just completely completely rejected the idea or the notion that I was disabled or needy or some kind of protected bullshit class or that whatever. I mean, the military made me stronger. My experience in the military made me a better person, without a question. Stronger, faster, sharper, higher skills, critical thinking. I mean, just anything you can, whatever. So, when I got married, had kids, realized that I was definitely never going to go back into the military proper, like, grunt, boots on ground type shit. So, at that point, I went ahead and started getting my service connection paperwork in order. It's basically just, hey, VA, I'm a veteran, legitimately. I'm going to fill my paperwork out and just the Obamacare thing, too. I literally got a tax, like what was it, the 1090C or whatever it was, some tax thing that said, hey, we're going to charge you $100-something a month for not having health insurance. Well, that wasn't the real reason that I started going to the VA, but it definitely helped. So I went to the VA and basically was just like, look, what's up? Give me service connected. I am a veteran. You do owe me like whatever, health care. So give me the paperwork. As part of that paperwork, I had to track down everything from my training stuff, everything from, my tours, and I filled out just basically all the paperwork they put in front of me, and there was these 2 boxes, for example, that said, oh, what are your 2 most stressful stories from your military time? Well, I might have to make a whole episode on those 2, because that's pretty intense, and I'm not necessarily going to get into that tonight, but so then it took like a year or whatever to even hear anything back from them, and then they showed me my service connection records, and I took it into the Veterans Affairs Service Commission office or whatever to, there's this amazing guy there named Eugene, there's another guy named Matt there that is learning and doing real well, and he's awesome. Those guys, you guys are helping veterans, and you guys are awesome, so, basically said I needed to fill out some more paperwork and write 4 letters, basically talking about just these different aspects of my tour, just to get all the truth in there, just to get all my documentation in order. So I sent the second round of paperwork in there, and I thought, okay, this is gonna be it. This is everything's in there, everything's accounted for at this point. So then I get back some kind of letter that says, hey, we put all this stuff in there, but you had these diagnoses for your spinous stenosis in your back from 2016, from your first time around. Well, we can't find those x-rays. We can't find the doctor's note on the x-ray. And so since there's no evidence for that diagnosis, we are taking it. You no longer have that in your service connection paperwork. And I said, what? Like, that doesn't seem right, And so I tracked it down, and no joke, there was a doctor who had an hour block scheduled out to look over my specific paperwork. Like, I had an appointment that I wasn't even needed for, but it was just this hour block knocked out of the schedule for him to basically, or she, whoever it was, to look through all my paperwork and make sure everything was in there and together and finalize it and send it on so that it would be done. Because whatever. I'm not that bad of a case. Like, I don't even have a Purple Heart, which I'm salty about anyway, and we can talk about that at some other point. But what they did was they said, oh, I can't find, for whatever reason, they weren't able to find these x-rays. And so that service connection was already there. So in 2016, obviously there was some kind of x-ray. This person who is getting paid guaranteed $200 an hour or whatever he had an hour block out of his time, didn't make a single phone call over to anywhere to try to find this x-ray. It was so easy to find. I went right over there and was like, hey, can you find this x-ray for me? They found it. They gave me this really nice, like, closed, sealed folder that had the disc in there and the paperwork and everything. Like, it was so easy to get. But he just closed it up, sent it to me. Oh, don't even worry about this. Like, we're not even going to do anything. If you need that done, and you have to do it yourself. Like, that's just not the way to treat veterans, because I am fine with that. Like, I got it. I turned it back in. That's great. But I also requested to see I told him to send me to DC. I said, I want to see the highest person you can send me to. Like, get me a meeting, because I'm going off on somebody. And I'm gonna go up there when they give me my meeting. They haven't even called me yet. I guess they're always backed up. That's fine, but I'm gonna let them know, because the way I was handled, I've been, even in my own life, in a place before where that would have really affected me. To have to deal with that kind of stress, to have to kind of go through those thought processes and just realize what exactly here is going on. And it's not even, really, the big part of it is not even about me. It's about knowing that some of these veterans who are out there losing it and doing some crazy shit, or the worst, killing themselves or whatever, they get a letter like that in the mail, and they just don't have the resources. They don't have the faculties left at that point to continue dealing with this system. And that I think about that when that kind of stuff happens to me, and I am grateful a million times over every single day that I have what it takes to still live my life after my service. And I know that's not the case for a lot of guys, and I take that very seriously. And so I'm gonna let them know, and this is gonna be part of an episode. I still want to do a scripted speech. Some kind of, like, I don't even know, I might, like, get in some kind of suit or something, y'all, and try to get behind, like, make my shit look like a news desk, I don't even know, or whatever, podium, I don't even know, but I want to do some kind of I don't know what the framework for that's really going to look like yet, because I told myself I wasn't going to do anything, like, political or too far out there. I want to stay personal, I want to stay local, I want to not be wildly opinionated here. I want to just kind of stick to check-ins and just, like, going over my own life, going over whatever tangible whatever, instead of getting off into the weeds, which I will plan on doing though in future projects. Which is a lot of what I'm talking about right now. So I don't know if that scripted speech thing is going to hit the October challenge or if it's going to just be some kind of later thing, but that's going to be fun. Another idea for one of these October videos can be one of these CrossFit open workouts. I still haven't done 20.1. I just haven't made it to the gym. I know actually today I think is the last day you're officially be able to turn it in online, but I'm not even doing the database thing online. I'm just going to do the workouts like always because they're fantastic workouts. And I know what I got, and I know that I'm not at my CrossFit peak right now anyway. I'm all up in this jiu-jitsu stuff, and it's just do it for fun, do it, some people take it seriously. That's awesome. I've taken it seriously at least 3 times before in the past, so. But I might do it, I might do one of these videos where it's like either me talking in the back, I'd be like narrating over a video of me doing the open. And one of the reasons why I like that idea is because one of the things I've never done for the Open is like an official CrossFit Open video. Like they ask you if you're if you're registering and you're competitive doing CrossFit, to make this video of what you did, so you can prove it. Well, there's a certain very specific way to do one of those videos, and not like I'm ever gonna need to. I'm never gonna do that competitively, but that doesn't mean I still can't practice doing that type of video. So that's cool. Future projects also, I'm calling myself out right now. I'm going to build a birdhouse. I'm going to build a badass birdhouse. It's going to have a little door and a magnetic camera mount, so I can have a camera in the birdhouse watching birds making their nest and hatching and stuff. But I'm going to have a little porch that comes out of it. I've already kind of got the idea in my head. Little porch, and I'm going to be able to feed them and stuff. And then on top of that, there's going to be another mount for another camera. I use Arlos at my house. They're fantastic cameras. And I want to get that second camera set up right before they start jumping off. I want to get them like walking out and taking their first little leap off. It's going to be awesome. I've been doing game cam too, where I like feed animals. I've been seeing skunks and foxes and stuff. I had that up, and I've got those videos, and actually I probably could edit some of that stuff into one of these videos at some point, but that's a good idea. I didn't even write that one down. That came to me just now. But I don't know if I'm going to set that stuff back up outside this year, like over the winter, but I know it's really, the real target is next spring. Next spring, I want to get the garden growing, I want to get the animals, I want to bring animals in, I want to get birds, everything. Get all that stuff on video. It's going to be really fun. And then also I want to do some video game narration. Fortnite Season 10 is over now officially, and the whole island's been sucked into a black hole if you're following the storyline. No telling, I think they're probably going to change the island or change the whole game up or whatever, I don't even know, but it's cool. I mean, I don't play it a lot. I've probably played like, I want to say 300, 400 rounds, probably 350, 400 rounds my whole life of Fortnite. And to a gamer, y'all out there that take it seriously have played thousands. So, but I'm good though. You know what? Once you're a gamer, I'm an old school Counter-Strike guy from back in the day. Before Counter-Strike CS, I mean, I played Age of Empires, I played Quake, Doom, all that. I mean, just you name it, I know about it, and where I played a lot. Elder Scrolls, PC stuff, Xbox stuff, a little bit of PlayStation stuff, not as much that. So, these are just content creation ideas and just things that I'm passionate about. I like, physical fitness and combatives. Right now I'm doing jiu-jitsu. I've already got a background in striking. Oh yeah, the jiu-jitsu gym just is bringing in Muay Thai as well, so I get to do some Muay Thai if I can get there early enough on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, and also on early weekend mornings. That's crazy, because if you put Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu together, that's modern MMA. It's just really good striking and clinching, a little tiny bit of takedowns, some sprawl to takedown defense if you want that, and then just the ground game. So that's really cool. And these are all my moving parts. This was the list I made said moving parts at the top, and then I just started like. Other than that, I mean, obviously I've got the infant son. My sons are 1 month old and 3 years, 9 months or whatever, 10 months, almost 4. So between taking care of them and just cherishing my wife and trying to make her feel special every single day and loving on her, that's really my entire life. I'm trying to keep my circle small, trying to keep my universe small. I mean, if I can really only focus on like 5 things if I want to give it my all. And really, those 5 things are actually like 3 that just have kind of several components. Just my family, the humans of my family directly, just my sons and my wife. My fitness training, which is kind of the role model aspect of that, and then this whole like philosophical journey that I'm on, which is part of this whole content creation thing. Thinkspot.com, by the way. There's this new social media app that is being designed for long form conversation, and just it's called thinkspot.com. I'm actually a beta user on there. I'm already making comments and just kind of seeing as it's being built. It's still kind of rickety, but it's coming together. It's going to be really, really cool. You can be listening to a podcast and like literally tap one time spot on the podcast to make a little note. You can listen to ebooks on there and do the same stuff. You can watch videos and stuff. It's going to be really, really cool, and I'm going to adapt a lot of this content into that as I can. Right now, I'm not actually able to post content. I'm just a user on the beta, not a contributor. But all the contributors are already famous, so that doesn't bother me too much. I would like to jump right into being able to do that, but I just don't have those credentials yet. I really that's another thing I'm going to make a video on. I really value anonymity. And so, like, obviously putting these videos out on the internet is kind of like playing with that. Because if I get too creative and I get too good at this, then eventually my ass is going to end up on some kind of, no telling where I'm going to end up. But it'll be out there. I've already starting to have aspirations about being on the Joe Rogan podcast. I've already kind of got a clear vision of how I could probably actually make that happen. So it's tough because I really like staying behind the scenes and I really like being anonymous or, not like really out there. I don't want to be recognizable, noticeable. I don't like that. But at a certain point, my other passions could take over. I mean, this feels right. And I'm noticing more and more that the way I think and the way I interact with the universe is more different than I ever thought it was compared to other people. I'm not saying it's better or worse, but it's just different. And I don't know. As I evolve as my own person, this just starts feeling more and more right. So I'm not going to put anything off the table because I just don't do that. Dang, that was a long ramble. Who did I even breathe? That was crazy. Okay. These little notes, man, that actually did keep me on track pretty good. That new camera is a GoPro Max. It's like 360. It's got 360 audio. That way I can just put it down in the middle and I can have one person or a group of people or whatever, and it's catching everybody. And then I can like go into the video and just, as people are talking, move it back and forth. It's going to be a lot easier to mess with. And my next purchase after that is going to be a laptop so I can get off this phone and start doing different like size frames and putting different content in. I'm going to do things in the future like just pick a news article out and just dissect the shit out of it, do the research, and a couple things I really hope to start. I'm going to start monitoring more celebrity social media accounts as well and screenshot their stuff so that when they delete stuff I can like poke fun at it. And also like pick news articles apart, debunk stuff. One thing I really am looking forward to is I'm gonna start tracking these debunking websites, and also like Snopes and these like supposed fact checker websites, because watch, everybody's got bias. Everybody's got bias, and I'm sure that I'm gonna come across my bias as well, biases. That's the thing though, I'm not sure how many people truly don't want to be biased. I think that, like I was talking about in a previous video, I think a lot of people's identities revolve around certain opinions or certain biases that they have, and so that's an issue that I really want to unpack, but it's I'm not saying that I don't, because I absolutely have bias. There's no way around that. I don't want to, though. And anytime I see it or feel it, or I can isolate it, even if I can see it in myself, I just want to squash it. I want to get rid of it. I want to be neutral, man. I want to be light as a feather in my soul. Like, I just want to believe in humanity and peace and love, and believe that everybody's doing what they're doing because they think it's correct. And, you know, just that correct in one person's head and another person's head is just sometimes so far removed that it's hard to figure out. Anyway, it's been fun, and wow, 20 something minutes just of pure extemporaneous talking. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.